My name's Julian Glover. I'm a writer, and I've always been fascinated by engineering. And that's what led me to explore the life of Thomas Telford and write a book about his life. And because I was fascinated by Telford's life, I started exploring it. I started looking into the things he'd done. And I realised many great historians had examined some of the things he'd done. They'd written about his history. Engineers had written about his history, but nobody had put it all together quite in a book that I thought really brought the joy and the excitement of his life forward. So I wrote this, Man of Iron, because I believed he was a man of iron. He was somebody who used iron, and he was a tough man. He really went out there, fought throughout his life, from his childhood to his death, to change the world. He was born up in the Scottish borders in 1757. His father was a shepherd, a poor man up in the hills. He died when Telford was very young. Telford, the boy, started aged about 10, guarding sheep in the hills, a long way from industry or design or building. He had no idea he'd become an engineer. He was just an ordinary boy, but he really had a dream. He wanted to get on in life. He wanted to change the world. And he saw engineering as the way to do that. So he became a stonemason. He learned how to carve stone, build simple bridges, helped in his local town, made his way slowly, came to London, got a job in London, moved to Shropshire. Shropshire then, a county in the west of England, was at the heart of the Industrial Revolution, the great change that was bringing new industry, new ideas to our country. And he got caught up in that. He became the centre of it. He discovered people were using iron, an old material, but using iron in new ways. And he saw them start to build bridges, build structures with it. And for him, that was the moment that changed his life and went on to change Britain, because Telford really did shape modern Britain. He was the first great civil engineer, the pioneer that built much of our modern country. And in Shropshire, he started working on canals. They were the great systems of the time. They were the ways you got freight around the country, you moved things. And he built an amazing iron aqueduct. It's still there. You can go and see it. You can walk across it if you're brave, because it has big drops down the side at Pont Cysylltau, just in Wales. It's an extraordinary thing. And that shocked a lot of people. They'd never seen anything like it. They never thought that somebody like Telford, who just came from an ordinary life, could go on and build something so amazing with the help of other people. He worked with people all through his life to do the things. Engineering is often about cooperation, and Telford was a great leader and a great partner to other engineers. And he went on. He went to Scotland, his home birthplace in the borders, but in the far north of Scotland, in the Highlands, where the mountains are. When he was young, there were no roads, there were no bridges. To get around, you had to walk, you had to go by boat, it was dangerous. There was no industry, no commerce. He saw himself as the person who could use engineering and planning and design and the power of government and big ideas to change Scotland. And he did. He built well over 1,000 miles of road across the Scottish Highlands. He built some amazing bridges. He built a thing called the Caledonian Canal. And again, you can go and see it today. If you go up to Inverness, you can see this great waterway running west towards Fort William. That revolutionised Scotland. And it was an extraordinary thing. But Telford did more. He worked all over the country. And that's one of the joys of engineering then and today. There's projects all over the place, exciting things for people to get involved in. And Telford, towards the end of his life, did one final great thing. And that was help found the Institution of Civil Engineers. The institution I'm talking in now, this I think was the chair he used to sit in when he was the first president, and there's still a president of the institution today. And he did it for one very simple reason. Because he wanted to encourage young people of all sorts of backgrounds to get into engineering, to become the people who built and shaped our country and shaped the world of tomorrow. And he was really, really good at doing that. All of the great Victorian engineers, the famous people who built roads and railways, Brunel, the younger Brunel and his father were both involved in this institution, partly with Telford's encouragement, and many of the people who came after were Telford's protégés. The people who started with him went on to build the world, and that's continued ever since at this institution. And it's partly Telford's legacy that's helped make it all happen. And so if you're a young person, you're thinking, what is it you should do? You've heard of engineering, but it's not really clear what engineers might do or whether there's really a career for you. I think Telford's life and the excitement of his life, the joy and the power of the things he built, is a sign that it's worth trying, it's worth giving it a go, because that's what engineers do, and that's why young people should get involved in engineering. There's all sorts of opportunities. It's an extraordinary career. It's a dramatic career. It's one that can occasionally be quite well paid, as Telford himself found out. So people should get involved. They should come and find out what the opportunities are, and then make the most of them.